Namaste, hello, and welcome to Agile Exploration Hub. I am your host Nagesh Deshpande. In today's episode of Talks with Deshpande ji on Agile Exploration Hub, we are going to discuss something which is everyone is interested is artificial intelligence. And today's topic is Agile and Artificial Intelligence future perspective. To talk on this episode or this topic, I will say we have a special guest, a new speaker, Nishant Anchal. So Nishant is an enterprise agile coach, a seasoned program manager with 22 plus years of experience in IT, including 9 years plus experience leading large scale agile transformation across multiple domains. So please let's welcome Nishant. Hi Nishant. Nishant. Hi Nishant.
Hi Nagesh, thank you for having me. I must say it's a pleasure to be on Agile Exploration Hub's podcast like this.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you so much.
Yeah. So enjoying your weekend?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So to my audience, normally we do recordings on the weekends because it's a free time and we can spend some we create these videos to for our audience so they can learn, use this experience. So just look at the profile of Nishant. I'm going to put his LinkedIn details in the description box. Visit his profile, connect with him. The experience, the amount of experience who is going to brought to this podcast will definitely help you. So please like this video, watch till the end, subscribe to my channel, and let's get on with the today's episode. So today's episode, as I already mentioned, is on artificial intelligence and where is the future, where are we going. So that's what we are going to discuss in next I'll say 30 to 45 minutes. And so Nishant, to my audience, you want to say something to start with, or shall we go with the discussion?
No, I think I'm just pleased that I'm here and whatever I can share is based on my knowledge, my experiences, and I hope that is useful to the audience.
Absolutely, it will definitely help. So we are going to share our experience today. So let's get on with this episode. So what is the first you got? Your interest on. Let me rephrase it. Okay. So uh, everyone is right nowadays learning about artificial intelligence. We are already into agile from almost a decade, more than a decade. So what what you made interested to link these agile and artificial intelligence at first?
Right. So I think AI, first of all, has been for here for decades, right?
Right.
And I did my college undergrad project in AI, by the way, fuzzy logic. So AI has been there. It has been, making progress, right? And the big push came recently or other, few years ago when
Mm.
generative AI came to picture, and there was a book that was released which was called "Attention is What You Need." Right, so that's what put limelight or spotlight on AI.
Right.
Now AI has been making progress in the last 3 years, especially after ChatGPT came into being in November 22. We have seen a lot of new use cases that AI has come up with, that people are coming up with for AI with AI, and a lot of progress is being made in terms of research, in terms of organizations trying to adopt AI right into their workflows, and a lot of things are being done in the name of how do we measure progress with AI? How do we integrate AI into existing systems? So a lot of movement is there, a lot of progress is there, and every week you see something new coming up, right? You
Absolutely.
hear agents this week, and then you hear agentic AI next week, and you hear VO3 come from Google the next week, right? So a lot of movement there, a lot of traction there, and a lot of buzz there, I would say.
Buzz. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, buzz is there, but it's adding value as well at the same time. Sometimes in our experience, we heard a lot of buzzword, but it never came into the picture or never used as an IT professional. But AI is being used, and that's what we are going to discuss now. You know, so how do you see that AI is changing our daily work, like agile teams? So if I am a developer, if I am a scrum master, if I am a product owner or an agile coach, how it will make difference to me in my daily work?
You're right. So AI, I mean, there are tools which are there already, right? So Jira AI, as you might have heard, is there, which integrates AI, techniques and AI capabilities to Jira,
Right.
right? And so, and Miro has its own version of Miro AI and so on and so forth. So there are tools which are coming in. There are other tools which are being created as we speak, right? And the idea is that those tools, those capabilities will just add to the existing capabilities that we've been trying to develop over the ages with respect to Agile, with respect to DevOps, with respect to automation, right? CI/CD. So they will complement those existing practices and capabilities, right? Now, how does AI help developers per se? The developer community is going to benefit a lot, and we already started seeing this in action because there's GitHub Copilot, which is there for developer productivity.
Right.
Then there are integrations which are possible with Slack, which basically allow you to summarize the discussions and even raise flags, risk flags, saying there is a certain amount of discussion or some certain amount of risk there, where people are discussing about it. And there is another angle to it, which is AI can help you plan better. It can help you prioritize stories. It can help you estimate stories and say when you're off from the mark that it gives you, saying, you estimated similar story 8 points. Now you're saying five story points. I really, sure about it, right? So those are the cases which are already there. And I can, go on and on about the use cases or the way AI is being currently implemented, right? And this is just the beginning, Nagesh.
Right.
Remember. So there is so much that's going to happen now. There is no limit to it actually. And we
Absolutely.
have seen teams having benefits. Sorry if I interrupted you. We've seen teams already benefiting from the productivity angle, right? So
Hmm.
GitHub Copilot, as I said, there are other tools, Athena AI and others which are being used. So it is just the beginning, I must say.
Absolutely. I wanted to add to that. Actually it's a there's endless possibilities now.
Yep.
Yeah. So like as you mentioned, GitHub Copilot, developers can improve their coding. They can get a lot of help from that. You already mentioned about Jira integration. There are tools which will help you to write test use cases. User stories as well as test cases, and then there can be code review can be done with the help of. Uh,
Absolutely.
so I'm already a GNAI certified professional. So which helped you to learn as a product owner how can you write better epic stories with large better coverage, um, you know a clear definition of done, clear definition of ready. So there is, you go to each level of your agile transformation or agile roles, um, you will have one AI tool, AI assistant to help you again. So we are saying that help you, so don't rely on that, but take the help and improve your daily work. So uh,
Yes.
Nishan can add further more because I want to discuss on this. So how as a coach it helped you, Nishant?
So as a coach, I'm always looking at how do I make my teams, my Scrum Masters more productive, more efficient, more effective, right? Are they
Effective, yeah.
focusing on the right things or not? I want my product owners to be always focused on the highest priority item.
Mm.
But do they really know the priority beforehand? It's difficult to, you'll get lost in the whole, system of too many stories, big backlogs, all of that, right? Easy to get lost, right?
Right,
So AI can help there. It can organize your work for you. It can prioritize your stories, for example, based on business value, risk, and all of that, right? It can also help you estimate stories and epics, right?
right. Mm.
So there's a lot that you can do with AI, and all the roles are being benefited, as you can see. The developers, I mentioned Scrum Masters, right? They can summarize meetings, for example, with the help of Copilot or any other tool that they want to use. They can do sprint planning better with help of AI, which can help them in estimation, flagging stories with dependencies and risks. Product owners can get help by, for example, as I said, backlog management, prioritization, all of that. Coming to testers, right? The testing is a very interesting part of the
Interesting,
whole
yes.
thing, right?
Yes.
And if you ask me, test automation has been one of the pillars or rather the benchmarks of a good team, right?
Right,
How good the team is, kind of relates back to how much they've automated their test cases. Then AI is has always been there for automation, right? So it basically can help you automate test case at a very high rate, right? You don't need to manually put in all the effort, but you can just
Mm.
review it at the end, obviously, right? So automation, test automation is one such thing where AI can definitely help testers. It can help in integrative test case test tools. It can help in maybe regression testing also. So there is a lot for everyone involved in the whole Scrum or Agile teams to benefit from AI and using AI basically.
Absolutely. So, as we discussed all the different roles, right, from coaches, scrum master, product owner, tester, developers, you know, so those who are, agile professionals, you know, so if they want to grasp new skill, learn new skill, what they can learn, to become, very successful, or you know, go to market or ready for market in this AI future world now.
That's a very interesting question, I guess, and there are a lot of, as I said, this endless possibilities. You said
Right,
yourself actually,
right.
right? And this is just the beginning, right? So start with, I think, every Scrum Master, in fact, every person who's involved in Agile projects, Agile product development needs to understand AI, right? And when I say understand AI, it's not just knowing that there's Gen AI and there is machine learning, all of that. It's more than that. You need to understand what tools are there in the market, what you can do with those tools. In fact, let me go back and say, what do you want to achieve? It always helps to use a tool knowing what you want to do with, right? For example, when you pick up a hammer, you've already decided that you want to put a nail into the wall, right? So
Right,
let's decide what you want to do first. For example, if you want to do automation of test cases or writing new regression test cases, for example, then you need to use a certain tool, AI tool, with certain tool capability, right?
right.
Not every AI tool may have all the capabilities that we are talking about, right? And so on and so forth. If you want to, let's say, use AI for summarizing your meeting, for example, or updating Jira tickets, for example, or any tool
Mm.
that you're using, your DevOps tickets, AI can do that for you. So you need to decide your use case, your what that you want, right? And then decide what capability that you need in the AI tools. Maybe something that you need today is not there in any of the existing AI tools. So what? You can develop that. I mean, if you're AI, developer, you can develop that. If you don't know how to develop with the tools and all that, if you don't have skills of Python or Flask or any of those things, you can ask somebody else to do that for you. I mean,
Right,
there are so many people who are getting trained and upskilled in AI right now. So I mean, as we said, right, the possibilities are endless. We need to decide what we want to have from AI, and probably it will give it to us.
yeah. I want to mention something very, very specific, so the tool selection, the use of the tool, you gave an example of a hammer. Okay, so the point is, remember, always remember this is to my audience, always remember, a fool with the tool is always a fool. So choose your tool very wisely.
So
Okay, so what are you going to do with that tool? How are you going to use it? Okay, just having that tool with you and you putting giving random inputs to it and getting random output is not going to improve your work. Use it wisely, like Nishant mentioned. If this tool, XYZ tool, is helping you to do your work better, give that input to it. Don't use it if it is not helping to you, first of all. Second thing, if those capabilities are not in the tool, learn if we can build that tool, build those capability in that tool. Take, if you know coding, you can use it. If you don't know, take help from someone, but don't be rely on that tool and mess up with your work. So that's a good example of hammer by Nishant. It's a perfect example, I will say. Moving ahead now, uh, you already mentioned about summarizing meeting and all that, and but we are agile teams, one of the strongest pillar of agile is collaboration. So how AI going to help us to improve or benefit or gain more value with the help of collaboration, AI and collaboration?
right. So see, a lot of teams use Slack, for example, right?
Right.
Now, if you use AI tool, it can give you insights into what discussions are primarily taking place, what are the hot topics that the team is discussing, right? It can take notes for you. You
Mm.
can document your, your code actually into design documents also. I mean,
Mm.
you need to get it reviewed with an architect or somebody qualified enough, technically. But you can at least ask it to give it a shot, right? So documentation is one place where we all struggle, isn't it? Agile
Mm.
team especially. And if you can take care of documentation, you basically say, you know what, I have taken care of this documentation, which is available tomorrow or maybe half an hour later for anybody to use, right? And when we are collaborating, let's say if the Scrum Master is not, the person who wants to take the meeting notes, somebody as an assistant, right? The AI assistant can take notes for you. What does it do? It helps you collaborate more, right? You focus on the important topics.
Right.
You don't focus on taking notes. Nobody's sitting there in the meeting just taking notes, right? We are all discussing, we are all interacting, we are all collaborating, putting ideas forward and discussing problems and finding solutions, right? So it does help collaborations in a long way, in a much stronger way, actually, I would say, right? And there are tools I foresee coming up very soon, which
Mm.
will basically augment things like Slack, right? And companies or teams which don't have Slack, they don't need to lose their heart because there will be some integration that will soon happen, and I'm sure there are already which are happening, which will basically integrate with Jira or existing your MS Teams or Zoom and give you the capability that you need, right? So lot of that is still to happen and is still happening. But I think AI does play a big role in making you collaborate better. For example, when you're running a Scrum of Scrums, it can prepare a dependency chart before you go into the SOS.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
2 minutes
Mm.
before you want to go into the SOS, you have your dependency, notes with you. Imagine, right? If you didn't get a time for preparing those notes, you just get it in 2 minutes and go ahead with the meeting. So yes,
Absolutely. Great. Great examples. Now, everyone is asking this question. Next question will be that now that AI is coming into the picture, more and more organizations are using it. Some using it for development, some use it even for HR or admin process. But as we are agile, so I'm more interested to know about agile roles. Can AI replace roles of Scrum Master or Agile Coach?
well, the answer is short and long both. So
Both.
let me give the short answer. The short answer is no, it will not.
Right.
And the long answer is it will reshape the roles of Scrum Masters and even Agile coaches
Right.
and even product owners for that matter, right? And developers and testers. All the roles are going to get reshaped, changed, adapted, right? And as we say, adaptability is the key, one of the key core values of Agile teams, right?
Right.
And so we are Scrum Masters and Agile coaches expected to now adapt to the new world, the new realities, right? And how do they adapt? What do they adapt to? So let me give a few things there. So one is, you know, the Scrum Masters will have to move a little away from just facilitating or taking notes or running meetings or summarizing meetings, right? And doing just the planning part of it. All of that, or maybe at least some of that, can be taken care of by AI, or it can be at least assisted with AI, right?
Mm.
That will leave more time for you as a Scrum Master or as a product owner or as even an Agile coach to focus on the more important things. Now, what are those important things? The what and the why of the product.
Right.
Whatever you're building, that is the why, right? And what that is the what here, right? And then you have a why. Why are you building something? So it basically will leave you more with more time to discuss problems, solutions, right? And discuss different ways, different MVPs, different discuss pivots, and discuss, dependencies and risks all the time. While somebody there is at the background taking notes and maybe nudging you with information that you need on the real time, isn't it? How wonderful
Yes.
that be? That you're in a meeting and discussing something, and then you don't remember what risk somebody raised with respect to a particular feature, for example, and there's an assistant which immediately gives you that risk, which was raised by so and so on so and so date about a certain, company not being available, for example, right? So
Right.
the roles are not going to go away. The roles are going to change, and they will have to adapt. We'll all have to
Absolutely.
adopt. We'll have to focus on the more important things, as I said. Focus on the why, the what, the dependencies, the risk, the product, the features, rather than being, dragged down by the routine work like running meetings and taking notes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely agree here, Nishant. And I will add my views on this one as well. So, very rightly mentioned that as a Scrum Master or a coach, your role will not be limited. You know, earlier you used to do something. Now you have to uh, change the way of your working. So, not just a facilitator, you have to be very, very proactive to do few things. So, I'll add few things. So, first thing is AI will not replace human aspect. So you as a human, you can connect, collaborate with the team, understand the emotions of the people. AI won't be able to understand human emotions as of now. So as a coach, as a scrum master, you can focus on that era. Another thing is like you can even improve the cross team collaborations and all that. So these are the some of the things. Human aspect will be there, so focus on that, as well as so these are some of the things that I want to add from my side. I had few things, but I lost it in the in the communication. So that's a good point that we have, that so keep in mind our role will not go away, but our roles will change for sure. Now uh, so we already discussed about what we wrote, that what roles of Scrum Master will change and how. But now let's move on to yeah. So I just mentioned one thing about human. So how can teams or as a person keep the human side strong while using more AI tools?
Right. So agile, I think, is about leveraging or making the most out of human capabilities, isn't it?
Right.
Especially coaching. When you say agile coaching or coaching, it is about making the best out of any individual or team, right?
Mm,
Getting the best out of any individual or team. Now, for doing that, you need to understand the humans. You need to understand their aspirations, how they interact, their actions, the reasons why, behind their actions
mm,
to set whatever point it is possible. And we have to make sure we connect as humans to each other to be able to support and work with each other. Now,
right.
can an AI do that? Not at least in the near future. When you have sentient AIs, right, then possibly this will probably also become something that the AIs can do. But until then, until we have sentient AIs, we don't foresee. I don't foresee, AI taking over that part of the role that we humans can do, right? Because
Right.
if I'm talking to you, I can see the body language. I can, try to understand your emotions, your thoughts, your reactions, right? Now,
Right.
can AI do all of that? Maybe to a good extent it can do that, but we humans are much more complex than something that can be learned in a day or even in a year, right? And we change. We don't
Right.
stay the way we were at 5 years old to now what we are, right? So we evolve as human beings. AIs will also evolve definitely, and they will become sentient beings at some point in time. But until then, we have to keep doing our stuff, which is to interact as human, to collaborate, right? Because AI will augment us with data, with predictions, with pattern matching, with all those things. But the human side, which is still ours, will be with us, right? So we have to keep doing that. We have to make sure that we collaborate, we work as a team, we follow the good agile principles that were given to us by few leaders in the past, and we make the best out of agile practices that we have had so far.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the human factor will remain. So it's give us an opportunity to learn about human psychology, human body language, human communication styles. We have a different communication styles,
Yeah,
as well as you can even learn a little bit about mental health, because as Nishan mentioned, 5 years ago my mental state, my mental health may be different, and today it's different. So the way I will communicate, there'll be a huge difference. So that kind of human touch, or that kind of emotion, only a human can understand. AI may not, as of today, AI may not be able to spot the difference there.
yeah.
So
So
great discussion. So yeah,
human
go ahead.
empathy is something that AI cannot easily replace, for example,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So
Empathy is very, very empathy, and compassion is very key here. So if you know So there is one book I would like to explicitly mention today. There is a book called Nonviolent Communication. So if you get a chance, read about it. This book mainly talks about empathy and compassion, and how you can practice it into your communication. This book is mainly made, written for the people who are their jobs involve a lot of communication, verbal and written communication. So keep this reference always with you. If you get a chance, buy this book, read this book, and let's move on to our next segment, and then. Okay, this is last question for the day, Nishan, for you. Uh, so now there are a lot of people who are aspiring to be agile professional. A lot of people do come to our Agile Exploration Hub channel and learn about agile. What kind of advices you will give? So first of all, they are learning agile, but now the AI is also coming to the picture. What are the some of the key advices that you will give to such young professionals?
In fact, my advice is for anybody who is starting to build their career. So starting from teenagers, my advice is for them also that you learn whatever is happening in the world with respect to AI. Start learning the tools, start learning about capabilities of AI. And that holds true for anybody who's going to get into agile roles or agile, being converting themselves into an agile professional or a practitioner, for example, right? Because when you work with people, you definitely will benefit from having AI as your partner, as your assistant, whether it is in terms of data or planning or assisting in terms of automation, whatever it is, right? So it's always good to have a companion like AI who
Hmm.
can make your job easier, so to say, right? So it's always good to be aware of what's happening in the AI world, what are the capabilities that are coming through, and how you can utilize them. And more importantly, as I said, you need to know your what, right? So you know where you want to go, what capabilities you want to build in yourself, in your teams. And it's best to use the existing or the upcoming AI capabilities that are on the board.
Great. It was great discussion today, Nishant. I really enjoyed. We discussed so many things here. How AI is going to change, or AI already changed our day-to-day life as agile professional, or not just agile professional, as an IT professional. What they can learn, will it replace human? No, that's not going to happen. And what we can learn or keep learning. So once again, from my audience and from Agile Exploration Hub, I really want to say thank you, Nishan, for being such a wonderful guest today, and keep inspiring us. Uh, keep coming to our podcast. Keep sharing your experience.
No, thank you, Nagesh. The pleasure is all mine, first of all. And I really love being here and talking to you. And I don't know whether how much time has passed, but I really enjoyed the discussion. It's always good to share the same when you have the same thoughts coming from both sides. So it
Right.
was a really good interaction. And I hope the audience who sees this podcast of Agile Expression Hub, I want to request them to say, guys, please, follow this channel and learn whatever you can from the speakers here because Nagesh is a great host. And we are all coming here to just share whatever we can from our own experiences. So please be glued to this, I would say.
Thank
Wishing
you,
the best of
Nishant,
it.
once again. So, to my audience, if you really enjoyed this discussion, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel. If you want to learn something new, add it in the comment. If you want specific to be learning from this episode or you learned, please add it in the comment. Thank you once again, Nishant. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.